So many people, even up north, are falling in love with palm trees. Nothing gives a more tropical look than that. I have more than 30 different types of palm trees here in New York, and there are actually thousands and thousands of different types of palms. Some of them are really easy to take care of inside the house. Some of them you can kind of leave outside. So today, I'm going to show you if the palm tree that you bought for the summertime as a cute little plant for your patio is worth saving inside the house as a house plant. Or if you're looking to buy a palm tree, I'm going to give you a few really uncommon palm tree species that do very, very well here in New York. First, I want to show you a few finicky palm trees that are common that you might want to avoid because they're going to make you cry. Palm trees are hard to grow inside the house. Outside, easy peasy. They love a lot of sunlight. They love a lot of humidity. You don't get that inside the house. Some of the palms love one or the other. They either love a lot of heat and sun, or they love a lot of shade and humidity. But most of them have one of those two requirements, and it's not being met inside the house. But there are some palm trees that will either tolerate house conditions or do very, very well inside the house. So we're going to talk about that. But first, I want to talk about some of these outdoor ones. And the problem with palm trees, two things. They are big, fat fakers, the biggest faker in the plant kingdom, because they could look alive but actually be dead because of problem number two. Palm trees only grow from the center. Some of them will pup and produce babies, but 99.9% of them, if the center dies, rots, whatever it is, you don't get a second chance like you do for so many other plants. So now, of course, I'm growing these palm trees that I tell you are finicky and make you want to cry. But they are relatively common and not very easy to take care of, up north at least. And one of them is a Bismarckia Palm. Bismarckia palms are so easy to grow in warm climates, but they don't love being in containers. These are also known as silver Bismarckia palms because this specific variety and most of the Bismarckias you see have silver fronds. So this is the actual color of the fronds. But as you can see, lots of damage this year from it. So maybe if you see this one, you need to be a little bit more of an expert if you live in a cold climate and you want to experiment. Then this next one is actually considered a cold hardy palm tree. And if you live in a zone 8, if your winters are generally coldest night 20 degrees Fahrenheit or warmer, you're going to have an easy time with this. Now, I know 20 is technically a zone 9, but anything colder than 20 degrees really will start to damage this very quickly. So you need to be in a very warm zone 8 if you're growing a Washingtonia palm, also known as a California fan palm, this species, or very similar looking, a Mexican fan palm. So you don't want to grow this in containers up north. They don't love being in containers. Now, some people have great success, but we're talking beginner palm. This one's not a great one for you. I'm growing it in the ground. There are two types of palms, right? You get those feathery palms, and then you get the fan palm leaves. So let me show you another hard palm tree to grow up here, and then we're going to get to the easy ones. So the palm tree I want to talk about is called a Majesty Palm. We're looking at an Areca Palm. I actually prefer the Areca Palms because unlike the Majesty Palm, these do produce babies. But Majesty Palms are, 9 times out of 10 the palm tree that you're going to buy up here as a summer annual. And the problem with a Majesty Palm is that it doesn't do well inside the house during the winter time. It just kind of fizzles out, and it's often sold as a houseplant. So a lot of people get a bad taste in their mouth when they're trying to grow palm trees as houseplants because the Majesty Palm is so difficult to keep alive inside the house. You can absolutely do it if you know what you're doing, but it's not a good beginner palm. So let me show you some houseplants inside my house right now that are palm trees that do great, and then I'll show you some of those patio plants that you might have bought and you want to save. And of course, those palm trees are kind of nice in the winter time in the house, but prefer to be outside. You're about to see a lot of my house, by the way, in a couple of weeks because I'm bringing all my plants inside here. I don't have a greenhouse. Everything you see in my patio is going inside the house. This is a beautiful feather palm tree. You see that type of frond, the beautiful feather-like leaves? This is called a Parlor Palm. It does fantastic in the house. It is a Chamaedorea elegans. I have the name in the description. And all Chamaedorea species do very well inside the house. I'm going to show you another one in a minute. Excuse my messy house. I have my gym clothes out because I want to go for a run. This is another feather palm. It is very expensive because it's very slow growing. It's called a Kentia Palm. The Kentia Palm is amazing inside the house. This is another one that does really well in full shade inside the house. It doesn't need a lot of humidity. It's an amazing house plant, worth the investment. I'm going to show you another Chamaedorea palm. This one has fused leaves, like a potato chip, right? Technically it has feathery leaves, but you see they're all fused together, so it gives it a really cool look. It has, I'm going to turn the lights on so you can appreciate the color a little bit more, almost a metal-like appearance to the leaves. It doesn't even look real, does it? No damage on the leaves. You can see it has a few mealybugs. Those are the little white fluffy stuff. These are, unfortunately, insects that can damage the plant over time. They stay on the plant though, so it's not like it's going to crawl around the house. But yeah, super easy plant, and this is a Chamaedorea metallica. So you can see where the Latin name comes from. It looks like metal. How cool is this plant? I've had this since 2017. I got this, my first house plant I got when I moved to Florida. And then I lived in South Carolina after 3 years in Florida. And then after 3 years in South Carolina, I moved back to New York. So not only has this plant survived, you know, many years inside my house, but it also survived some moves on the moving truck. Really easy, great palm tree, and a fun one to grow inside the house. And look at this cute little trunk that it has. It's not your typical palm tree, that's for sure. Now, if you want a palm-looking plant, come on, camera. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. A palm-looking plant. A Dracænia marginata. Do you see this? A lot of people will be like, oh, this is a palm tree. It is not even closely related, but if you like the look, it does kind of give you that palm tree vibe. Super easy houseplant. Dracænia marginata. Really great houseplant too. Let's go back to the jungle. While we still can. It's October, so give it a month. All these plants are inside the house, and I'm going to be complaining about how cold it is outside. I'm on a hunt for some more palm trees for you to grow inside the house, and this one is a fantastic palm. It is called a lady palm, a Rhapis. Yes, this one is out on my patio, but it does really, really well inside the house. It can also handle some cold. I've left it out in some 30-degree nights, and it does fine, absolutely fine. So great palm, absolutely love it. And another palm tree, just like that butterfly palm, the Areca Palm that I showed you in my front. This produces babies. I have a bromeliad in it, by the way. Isn't this funky? I love it. But you can see multiple little tiny trunks. How cute are these little trunks? And produces lots of babies. By the way, I've had some really good moments with my Licuala grandis. This is like the queen of tropical, humid-loving palm trees. I mean, really, really tropical palms. Even in South Florida, these can struggle if it's a cold winter. But this year's not its year. We got one good frond out of it this summer, so I'm gonna have to keep it under a grow light and say some prayers. All right, but I'm growing over 30 different types of palm trees, so I want to get to some really exotic ones. Just be patient with me because there's one palm tree that I think would be two actually that are kind of common and I think would be perfect. A really, really nice fan palm option is the Windmill Palm. These are known for their cold tolerance, but they do okay in the house. I would just bring it in the house when it gets down to like 30 degrees outside at night, just because you don't want the pot to freeze. They can handle so much colder than that, but why put your palm tree through abuse if you don't have to? I know they don't have feelings, but they will absolutely respond better with a little bit of love. You don't have to baby them, just a little bit of love. So if you're growing a Windmill Palm and you want to grow it outside, make sure that it's not exposed to anything less than 15 just to be safe. 15 seems to be okay for them. Now, it can handle colder, but, you know, again, you're new to this. If you're, you know, like, if you are new to this, windmill palms are definitely becoming more common, but the most common fan palm that I see available here in New York is the Chinese fan palm, and I love this thing. Not only is it cold tolerant, but it is a pretty decent indoor palm, at least during the winter time. I don't know if this would be a great indoor palm year round, but it doesn't need a lot of humidity, and it does very well in shade. So it does make a pretty decent indoor palm tree. It also, doesn't produce babies, but usually comes with multiple palms in the same container. You see all those trunks? So these are actually just one, like one container with lots and lots of seedlings that were planted next to each other at some point to give it a more full look for the nursery trade. But so no, they don't actually pup, but you get a lot of opportunity for forgiveness when you have multiple ones of these in a container. They can survive temperatures down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you're gonna start getting a lot of damage. I know a lot of people watching this channel are into the unusual palms that you can't get anywhere else, and you want to know which ones do well up north, which ones are worth trying, and I'm going to show you a couple of unusual ones that I love. First one, maybe not unusual in Florida, but definitely not one you find up here for sale, is a fishtail palm. Fishtail palms are awesome. They have these really unusual fronds. They really don't even look like palm fronds. Oh, hello, Morning Glory. How cute are these flowers today? Yeah, these fronds don't look like palm fronds at all. See that? It's just so unusual. Great palm that does pretty well inside the house. This will actually be my first year growing it inside the house, so follow along if you want to see how she does. I have very high confidence in her. Licuala Palm is a very common palm that you see for sale. This one's not doing great because I tried to rescue it, and I don't even know if I'm going to bring it in the house this year, but they do make decent houseplants during the winter time. You just need to spray them for neem oil and for spider mites because they're very prone to neem oil and spider mite damage. Another unusual palm that you really never ever see for sale as a houseplant is a Joey palm. I know it looks like a seedling, but this is actually how it grows, and these leaves can get up to 9 feet long. Look, just like this. They'll just be super tall, no trunk really for a long time, and they can get 9 feet long. Absolutely amazing. They're kind of like hard palms. I haven't really figured out why this palm tree is doing well. It's very slow growing. It grows one frond, even in the tropics, even in Florida, you get like maybe one frond a year from it, maybe 2 in Florida. I get 1 here in New York. Joey palm. Awesome, awesome plant that has surprisingly been a good container plant. But I've got better options for you. My favorite, any Chamaedorea is pretty much going to be a good potted plant for you. This is an unusual variety called Chamaedorea ernesti augusti. So I showed you my Parlor Palm before. That's one of the most common palms in the world. And then I showed you my Chamaedorea metallica, which has the fused fronds. This one has fused fronds, just like Chamaedorea metallica, and look at how tropical this vibe is. It is such a tropical looking plant, and it can handle low humidity. So a lot of times, honestly, if you're just like Googling good palm trees for shade in California, that's probably going to be a good starting point for a lot of houseplants that end up being really good for you because you get the low humidity and you need the shade requirements. I don't care how much sun your house gets, palm trees need more if they are sun-loving palm trees. I do have a couple of other unusual palm trees that I can just quickly browse over and show you. My Trachycarpus laticetus Windmill Palm it's a cousin to the Windmill Palm that I just showed you, but it is not very cold tolerant. Either way though, I've kept it out in some pretty decent cold. It's seen temperatures in the 30s and it's been fine. So even upper 20s seem to be fine, but anything less than 20, even in the ground, even in the south, now we're gonna start talking about damage. And in a container, these palm trees cannot handle so much cold. That's the lesson. Even if you're growing a cold hardy palm tree, just keep in mind that they are not going to be as cold hardy. This goes with any plant if you're growing it in a container. And that's about it as far as palm tree care. I mean, you know, that's not about it. But I will stop the video here. I just wanted this to be kind of like helpful hints. But if you have any questions, comments, any palms that do really well for you, let me know in the comments below. I love the community that we could build here on YouTube, all about gardening and unusual or really fun plants you may not realize could do really well. Bye.